And that, my friends, is how you erase all of the equity that you made for yourselves with that fantastic win on Wednesday night against the Cleveland Cavaliers by dropping the ball at home against the Chicago Bulls. Kevin Huerter gets his ultimate revenge. They say revenge isn't fulfilling. Yeah, try telling that to Red Velvet tonight. You'll hear his spicy comments after the game. Plus, we'll break down DeMar DeRozan's rough night and Zach LaVine's no-show. It's all right here on Locked On Kings.
You are Locked On Kings, your daily Sacramento Kings podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for another episode of Locked On Kings.
Hello and welcome into Locked On Kings, your podcast hub for Sacramento Kings coverage all season long. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. My name is Matt George. I have the privilege of being your host here. I'm a Sacramento sports anchor and reporter for ABC 10 News. And hey, I hope you enjoyed Happy Matt George over the last two podcast episodes after the Kings' really solid win over the Memphis Grizzlies and then their fantastic win against the Cleveland Cavaliers on Wednesday night. I hope you enjoyed those vibes and rode them as high and as long as you possibly could, because now it's right back down to reality for this Sacramento Kings team. This is who they are. This is who they are. They're a mid team. They're mid. They're a 500 team, right? Win games, lose games, teeter-totter back and forth, follow up a really, really important momentum-building win with just a very disappointing but all too familiar and predictable loss to the Chicago Bulls last night, 128-116. Like I said in the introduction, all of the equity that you built for yourself, all of the momentum that you established for yourself going into the three hardest games of this homestand, hell, maybe even the three hardest games of the season, all of that momentum you built for yourself, gone. Poof. Gone. And I'd say, hey, maybe this could be a wake-up call for the Sacramento Kings, but how many freaking wake-up calls do you need over the course of this season? At this point, the alarm clock is freaking broken. It's just unfortunate. It's why I cannot fully enjoy what we saw against the Cavaliers. And I had fun. You saw me on this podcast. I was having a great time after that performance. But I went on D-Lo and KC today on ESPN 1320. Phenomenal radio show. And I went back and forth with KC because he, like me, was riding high after that Cavs win. But he was telling me what we saw from the Kings in this Cavs game, this is more true to who they've been than the bad performances that they had against the Warriors and the Suns. And I get his point. But my ultimate point is we cannot just say and believe that what we saw against the Cavaliers and what we saw against the Memphis Grizzlies is who this team is and who we should expect this team to be, because they've shown us time and time again that when they're dialed in, when they're fired up, when they're giving their all, especially on the defensive end of the floor, they can win tough games, but consistently they're not able to put those performances together. They have too many of these dropped opportunities at times where they can't, quite frankly, afford to do so, right? Damian Barling and I were talking about, it's human nature to have bad games. It's human nature to have bad days at work. We all have it. But the Sacramento Kings can't afford to have a bad day at work anymore. They've used all their bad days. Those days are up. You have to be dialed in. You have to be locked in. You have to be able to handle your business against a team like the Chicago Bulls tonight. You got yourself a win against Cleveland that you were not supposed to get. Let's be honest with you. You weren't supposed to win that game. You did so. And then you wasted it. It went to nothing. Well, that's not fair. It's not. It didn't go completely to nothing because you learned a lot in that game. You built a lot of momentum in that game. You did a lot of good things in that game. It's not like now suddenly that Cavs win doesn't matter. But you had an opportunity to build upon that and put yourself in a better position. And the reality is the Sacramento Kings are in the exact same position tonight that they were before that fantastic Cavs win. That's disappointing. That's really disappointing. And here they are going into a 3-game stretch against the freaking Bucks, the Celtics, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I will say this. Tonight wasn't an effort issue, I'll say. They were playing hard this entire night. Tonight was a execution issue. It's one thing to play hard, but also to play hard and execute the game plan. Play hard and make the right plays. The Sacramento Kings were not doing that. They were 13 of 27, red hot from three-point range in the first half. That first quarter, they were like unstoppable from three. They shot 48% from three in the first half. And I think, to be honest with you, that was hiding some of the mistakes the Kings were making. That was hiding their poor defense in that first half, particularly in the paint. The Kings were outscored 34-10 in the paint in the first half, right? And they were not scoring anywhere inside of the three-point arc. Then you have the second half where the Kings suddenly, and I'll give a little bit of credit to the Bulls for making adjustments, I guess, but the Kings suddenly go completely away from the three-point shooting that has been red hot for them. They go from making 13 threes in a half to making just 2 in the second half, but more alarming, they went from shooting 27 threes in the first half to just 12 in the second half. Why? Again, give the Bulls a little bit of credit, but why did you so drastically go away from what was working? And then defensively in the second half, you gave up a 37-point third quarter and a 36-point fourth quarter. The most the Kings allowed to the Cleveland Cavaliers in any quarter the other night. The Cavs, a significantly better team, significantly better offense than the Bulls, and it didn't matter that the Cavs were on the second night of a back-to-back, because the Bulls were also on a second night of a back-to-back tonight, as were the Sacramento Kings. So I don't want to hear that excuse at all. The most the Cavs scored in a quarter was 34, and you gave up 37 and 36-point quarters in the second half to the Bulls tonight. You had a 19-point lead that you blew. And offensively, after that great first quarter, the most points you scored in a quarter were 27 points. You were not getting stops. You were not getting out in transition, something you've done so well over the last 2 games. You were outscored in transition. You were demolished in transition by the Bulls 22-8. You collected just 4 steals in this game. And then to drive the dagger further into your heart, Kevin Huerter came into your building and got his revenge. Kevin Huerter came into the Golden One Center tonight, got a nice ovation from the Kings crowd during during intros, dropped 25 points, 10 of 16 from the field, 5 of 9 from three-point range, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. He had a couple of big threes in the fourth quarter to essentially put this game on ice and put the Kings away. The Kings let Kevin Huerter come into their building and have his way. The Kings let Kevin Huerter come in here with a chip on his shoulder and did something about it, right? They let him do something about it. They let him send his message to anybody. Kings fans, the team, front office, Mike Brown, Doug Christie, did not matter. Kevin Huerter came into this building on a mission tonight, and the Sacramento Kings allowed it to happen. I mean, the dude beat you more than De'Aaron Fox did in his revenge game. Now, granted, De'Aaron Fox has his hand injury, but regardless, Fox came into this building. You were fired up for that game. You beat the crap out of the Spurs. You didn't let Fox have his way. Well, I guess you didn't take Huerter and the Bulls seriously enough? I don't know, because Huerter came in here and punked you. Not to mention Kobe White, notorious Kings killer. I actually take responsibility for Kobe White's second half because I turned to Frankie Cardicelli and Brendan Nunez and Chris Watkins, my friends over at Sacktown Sports 1140. I turned to them at the start of the third quarter and I went, man, when's the Kobe White game going to start? Because Kobe's a notorious Kings killer. And Kobe only had 4 points at halftime. I was like, this is very unlike Kobe White. Okay, well, Matt, shut the hell up because here's 31 points in the second half, courtesy of Kobe White, to pair with the great game that both Nikola Vucevic and Kevin Huerter had to dominate the Sacramento Kings in the second half and win this game. After the game, I could care less what the Sacramento Kings had to say. Malik Monk and DeMar DeRozan spoke, don't care. Doug Christie said something. I saw, like, I retweeted one of the quotes that Brendan Nunes put out of, like, him talking about how unacceptable this game is and it should sting and it should hurt if you care, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I didn't need to hear from the Sacramento Kings. What are they going to say? It's about action at this point. But I did care about what Kevin Huerter had to say. And Kevin Huerter did not disappoint. Let's just say that. When it comes to revenge games, some players like to kind of lean away from that. No, it's not really a revenge game. Kevin Huerter did not take that path.
Make a big deal about revenge games. Was there the revenge narrative, the grudge narrative, or is this just a basketball game that you knew you guys needed?
100% revenge game. 100%. So that felt good. Came out here with a dub.
What specifically, like, what chip on your shoulder did you specifically bring with you into this game, or what did you want to accomplish in this game?
Yeah, we won't get into details. Just an old team. Obviously, getting moved mid-season, getting a good opportunity over here, and came back and played well in a game I wanted to play well. So it feels good.
You had 2 big threes down the stretch there. I mean, how good do those feel to knock those down?
It felt really good. It felt really good.
What about the crowd's reaction? The game is still, appreciate being part of the beam team. So
that was nice to hear. I've always loved the fans here. I hope they continue to love me. I've said it before. I'll say it again. A city that loves their team, and it was awesome playing here. I said it after the game on the TV with the Bulls, like, it's a Thursday night on a back-to-back, and this place was sold out, and that's what this fan base continues to bring. So it was a fun game. It was great to hear the warm reception, and I'll still have a lot of people here, both with the team and working for the team, that I'll keep in touch with.
Is your first game against your final team or your old team, does that provide kind of some final closure for you, or does that linger with you over the rest of your career knowing it's your former team?
Yeah, no, that'll feel good. I mean, this team will most likely change, and as all teams do in the NBA, year to year, coaching staffs will change, and so this one being against the team I just came from and having a game like that, it definitely feels good. It's fresh on the mind. It happened a month ago, so I'll be excited to continue to come back and play here. But I don't think any of them will feel as sweet as this one did tonight.
So you had it circled on your calendar?
I wouldn't say circled. It was on a back-to-back. I mean, both teams were on a back-to-back, so that wasn't ideal. But obviously a game I wanted to play well in.
From the moment you got off the plane from here to Chicago and started your time as a Bull, what's the most different about just the Chicago organization and your journey now?
I think honestly just the stage of, I wouldn't say where the team's at, but just the youth of this team. Like the locker room definitely feels younger. Coming from a locker room over there with Domas and Jay Crowder and Debo and just some older vets, JaVale McGee in years past, and coming over here and Modest Buzelis is the most vocal guy in the locker room. He's a rookie, so a little bit younger locker room. It's fun though. It's youthful. We've been playing well as of late. Play with a lot of energy, and our coach is preaching a lot of that. So it's been fun. It's been a good reset.
A lot closer to home too, right?
It is, yeah. People aren't staying up till 10:30 to watch my games, but we're doing it in the moment. People will watch, but my mom's a little bit happier getting to watch.
Like I said at the top of the show, today's episode of the Locked On Kings podcast is brought to you by Prize Picks. Basketball season is heating up, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With Prize Picks, you just pick more or less on up to at least 2 player projections for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Yes, that's a real number. And it's easy to use, available in over 30 states, and lets you mix and match projections across different sports, right? So you can play for specific games like the Kings and Bulls game tonight. And if you did, I hope you took the more on Kevin Huerter points and Kobe White points and Nikola Vucevic, basically everything. Hopefully you took the less on Zach LaVine points against his former team. Let's say you took all 4 of those stats that I just mentioned, and you got all 4 of them right. You're talking about a big payday on Prize Picks. It's quick and easy to make your entries, and it's even quicker and easier to get your money after you win. We're talking payouts in as little as 15 minutes. There's no waiting around. And then, of course, there's some incredible deals and gifts, basically, that Prize Picks will give you, from Taco Tuesday, discounted or like discounted player projections, to sometimes like on holidays or major sports days, they'll basically give you a pick for free. There's so many fun ways to play on Prize Picks, so download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Today's episode of Locked On Kings is also brought to you by Hungry Root. When it comes to grocery shopping and meal planning, I have an ongoing problem. I don't have the time, and I know I'm not alone with this between work, life, Kings games, hobbies, taking care of my 3-year-old son, right? It's hard to eat healthy, and I'm constantly feeling stressed out. I'd go to the grocery store, buy things that I didn't need. It would go to waste. I'd never find the time to actually cook the meals. And sticking to my health goals, that's a whole nother layer on top of everything. But everything changed when I discovered Hungry Root. It's a game changer. It's the easiest way to eat healthy without all the stress. With Hungry Root, it's like having a personal shopper and nutritionist all in one without paying a crap ton of money. They take care of your grocery shopping, recommending meals and groceries based off of tastes and personal health goals, from anti-inflammatory to high protein and gluten-free options. And the best part, every meal is ready in 15 minutes or less. I'm talking quick, healthy meals that taste great, all delivered straight to your door. It's been a huge time saver and has made healthy eating so much more simple and also more tasty. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as I do. For a limited time, get 40% off of your first box and a free item in every box for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA and use code LockedOnNBA. That's hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA, code LockedOnNBA to get 40% off of your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA, code LockedOnNBA. Don't miss out. So Kevin Huerter didn't waste his opportunity at revenge against his former team. Zach LaVine, well, I'll say I don't think LaVine or DeRozan had nearly the revenge narrative or revenge on the mind or chip on their shoulder that Kevin Huerter did. But even if there's no animosity, even if there's no hard feelings, you always want to show up and have a showcase game against the team that moved on from you, right? You want to have a game to remind the people of Chicago, the Bulls organization, your former teammates, what they lost in you no longer being a part of your team or their team, right? Well, Zach LaVine gave us another dud tonight. Now, this is his first game back from some sort of personal reason that he missed the Cavs game. I don't know what that personal reason is. It's not my business to pry or to find out or to know. It does not matter. So it could have been something that was a big deal. It could have been something that's been lingering on Zach's mind. We have no idea. I bring that up not to speculate about it, but just to provide that context. But it's not just that Zach LaVine played bad against his former team in the Chicago Bulls. 8 points, 2 of 9 shooting from the field, 1 of 6 from three-point range, 5 assists, 1 steal. It's that once again, Zach LaVine just was not shooting the basketball. He had 4 shot attempts going into the fourth quarter. 4 shot attempts. He was 0 of 4 after 3 quarters. He took 5 shot attempts alone in the fourth quarter, made 1 or 2 of them. Yippee. This is the 3rd time in the last 4 games that he's played that he's not shooting the basketball. And I don't get it. Again, maybe there's distractions. Maybe there's other things going on. I don't know. And we've talked to Doug Christie about this, and Doug is had Zach's back and talked about how good of a teammate Zach's trying to be, and he's trying to fit in and get everybody involved. But damn it, Zach LaVine, you are paid a crap ton of money to be the phenomenal scorer that you are. And when the Sacramento Kings were cooking and on a win streak early on in your time here since being traded, you were shooting over 60% from three-point range on a high volume. Now, we knew that wasn't going to last, but there's no reason why you had to start shooting the basketball. It's not like Zach LaVine cooled off. It's just he stopped shooting. Because even in the games earlier, tonight he had an inefficient shooting night. But in the games against Golden State and Phoenix, when he was not shooting the basketball, when he was shooting, he was knocking them down. He was still shooting at an efficient rate. Why are you not shooting the basketball? Why? Is it you not demanding the ball enough, trying to be too much of a good teammate? If that's the case, I appreciate that, but damn it, the Kings need you to score. Is it your teammates? Is it DeMar, who you're very familiar with, not giving you the ball? Is it Malik Monk not giving you the ball? Is it not playing with Domantas Sabonis, who's out with injury again? And Sabonis is a guy that tries to get everybody involved, and especially someone like Zach LaVine. Is that it? Like, is it the fact that the Kings don't have a pure point guard and a floor general? Is that it? Like, why is Zach LaVine not freaking shooting the basketball? That's the most unacceptable part of this whole thing. If you have a bad shooting night, okay, fine, it happens, right? He was shooting the ball pretty poorly, actually, his first 2-3 games when he joined the Sacramento Kings, right? He was shooting like 30% or less from three-point range, but at least he was putting them up. They just weren't dropping. Now he's just not putting them up. And I mean, amazing you managed to score 116 points in a game where Zach LaVine only took 9 shots and had 8 points. That's good. It's because you were so red freaking hot from three-point range, and Malik Monk and Trey Lyles were cooking tonight. But Zach, like, great dude. I will never accuse Zach LaVine of being selfish. I don't think he's a selfish person by any means, but maybe be a little more selfish. Go out and try and score the basketball like a team that's on the brink of the playoffs, and especially come back after whatever you dealt with, but come back and try and, as a fresh man, build upon what the Sacramento Kings were able to do, what your team was able to do in your absence against the Cleveland Cavaliers the night before. Build on that. Go out and add your offense to that great night. And he didn't do it. Again, it's not just that he had a bad night, it's that he didn't try, or that's not fair. He didn't look to do what he does best. Look to impose himself on the game. And I would have said the same thing even if it was against his former team. Again, the Bulls, how he wants to play against the Bulls, that's his own business. It has nothing to do with me. It's a lot less personal to me than like Kevin Huerter against the Kings is, of course. But regardless of who the Kings are playing, the Bulls, a college team that's in the NCAA tournament right now, Zach LaVine, shoot the freaking basketball. I don't understand. DeMar DeRozan, very different type of game tonight. He did shoot the basketball. He shot it a lot. I'm not going to bag on DeMar DeRozan too much. He had a super inefficient night. It's disappointing. 22 points, 9 of 22 from the field. Scoring 22 points on 22 shots is atrocious. It's really bad. 4 rebounds, 5 assists. It's just a really tough night to be super inefficient. And it sucks because you had Malik Monk and Trey Lyles cooking in the first half, and just like the Sacramento Kings went away from shooting the three, DeMar DeRozan took 13 attempts in the second half. Now, I understand down the stretch and in a close game, that's where you lean on DeMar, and I'm certainly not going to praise him for doing it last night or against the Cavaliers and helping the Kings win that game, and then crap on him for doing it in the fourth quarter in tonight's game. I didn't feel like at any point DeMar was trying to take over the game or not pass the ball or anything like that. But he had a super inefficient night on a night where his partner in crime, Zach LaVine, was not shooting for some reason. Those are two things that are tough for the Sacramento Kings to overcome against any team. And here they are. Now, I will say congratulations to DeMar DeRozan. He reached 25,000 career points tonight. That's fantastic. I think that's like 25th or 26th on the all-time scoring list. Good for DeMar. That's great. Unfortunately, it wasn't in a win, and that's all that matters to me, and that's all that matters to the Sacramento Kings right now. Today's episode of the Locked On Kings podcast is also brought to you by Robinhood and Robinhood Gold. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also will get a 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. It's the perks of the high net worth, now available for any net worth. New gold standards are here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. So it's not all bad. I do have some love to give to Trey Lyles in particular. Trey Lyles is having a damn good homestand. Really good homestand for the Kings. He had a season-high 22 points tonight, 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 7 from three-point range, 6 rebounds. The problem that I got, though, 1 3-point attempt in the second half. Like, Trey has to wear some of that blame, just like in games where Keegan Murray's have really good quarters and then just disappears for the rest of the game. Like, Keegan Murray owns some of that blame too. So Trey has to own some of the responsibility of, I didn't demand the ball, I didn't get the ball back. But the rest of the Sacramento Kings, Doug Christie, everybody has to look around and go, Trey Lyles was red freaking hot. Why did we not get him the basketball again? Why do we only have him take 1 3 in the second half? And I, again, want to give credit to the Chicago Bulls, I'm sure, in the adjustments that they made, but you can't allow the Bulls to completely take your hot hand out of the game and only allow him to take 1 3-point attempt. Not just 1 made 3, 1 3-point attempt in the second half after being 4 of 6 from 3-point range in the first half. And he wasn't alone. Malik Monk, also red hot in this game. Led the Kings with 34 points, 5 of 10 from 3-point range. In the first quarter alone, he was 5 of 7 from 3. He had just 2 3-point attempts in the second half. I get the Kings were being outscored, dominated in the paint, and wanted to try and get inside and score around the rim more, and they did a better job of that. But why did they completely go away from the 3-point shot that was carrying them through? It's not just that it's not like they kept shooting a boatload of threes and just went ice cold. They just went away from it. It's a very similar conversation to what I just talked about with Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, just like he was not shooting shots tonight, the Sacramento Kings just decided to stop shooting threes. I don't know why. You were finally having a night where, as a team, you were scorching. You had 2 guys that everything that they were touching was going in. It was like a video game. They could not miss in that first quarter, and you just went away from it. I don't get it. And again, if it really is, wow, the Chicago Bulls made such good adjustments that they took that 3-point shot away from everybody, then the Kings need to look in the mirror and go, how do we let an adjustment like that so significantly impact the things that we were doing right? It's not an excuse to me. Giving credit to the Bulls is one thing. Giving credit to the Bulls while not holding the Kings accountable or having the Kings look in the mirror and realize, what did we do wrong? Why did we stop doing what we were doing? That's a whole nother thing entirely. So now here you are. The Kings, 1 game above 500. They've lost all their momentum going into their Bucks game. Bucks on Saturday, and then Celtics on Monday, and then Oklahoma City Thunder on Tuesday. I mean, the Cavs game and how you played and being able to win that game, it gives you hope that the Kings can compete in all these games. I don't doubt that. At least I hope they compete in all these games. Gives you hope that they could hopefully win at least one of these games. But if you were to tell me, Matt, you have to put your money on the Kings going 0-3 or 2-1, I'm taking 0-3 without hesitation. 0-3 and 1-2. My heart says 1-2. My brain still might feel 0-3. If you lose all 3 of these games now, you go from being 3-3 on the homestand. You could have been 3-3 if you handled your business tonight against the Bulls. To now you're 2-4. This stretch of doom, this home stretch, this brutal 7-game homestand, you got off to a tremendous start. And you've just shot yourself in the foot. You killed your own momentum, or even worse, you allowed the Chicago Bulls, a worse team than you, and Kevin Huerter to come into your building and kill the momentum for you. Some people wanted to reinsert the Kings back into the 8th or 7th seed conversation after that Cavs win. I was not one of those people. The Kings are 4 games back of 8th and 7th. I'm bringing that up just for context, not because I think it's worthy of having a conversation even about those seeds. What is worthy about pointing out, though, is they now have a new team on their heels. The Phoenix Suns jumped the Dallas Mavericks. The Phoenix Suns are 2.5 games back of the Sacramento Kings. Of course, the Kings just lost to the Suns. They could have had more wiggle room than that, but they decided not to play hard in Phoenix. That might come back to bite them in the ass. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Kings' final game of the regular season is against the Phoenix Suns here in Sacramento. That game could have some pretty significant implications. That game might decide who gets home court advantage in the 9-10 play-in game. Or maybe not. Maybe the Suns could catch the Kings here in the next week while Sacramento goes through the gauntlet of these teams that they're facing. The Suns also have a brutal schedule too, so at least you're in the same boat there. It's just disappointing, man. I saw the comment section. It was fun being Happy Matt George again. I had a great time. I was telling you, like I said on the podcast, I woke up this morning still buzzing after that Kings win last night against the Cavs. The Golden One Center was rocking. It was great. And then the Kings just do what they do. Do what we've seen far too many times. Not just this season, but in this playoff drought, in this building, in this building's existence. Oh, well, we'll see where the Kings go from here. Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday. We'll see what they do on Friday. If they have a day off, a practice day, who knows? They got to get ready. Because Giannis Antetokounmpo, I don't care how big of a man Jonas Valanciunas is. I don't see anybody on this Kings roster doing anything to stop Giannis Antetokounmpo. We'll see. I want to hear from you. Your thoughts at Matt George Sack on Twitter if you want to tweet me, or you can reach me on Blue Sky on the same handle. You can email me, mattgeorgesports@gmail.com if you'd like. And, of course, leave your thoughts in the YouTube comment section down below if you're watching the show on YouTube. Appreciate your support as always. Can't wait to have you join me on the next episode of Locked On Kings. Until then, my name is Matt George. You've been listening to the Locked On Kings podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.